Coming to you live from the center of Hollywood, California. What were you thinking? With Aaron and Scott. Real talk behind closed doors. It's not just about stupidity, but everything else that comes with it. High octane, energy driven, in your face. Get ready. It's Aaron and Scott.
So how much time do we have? How much time do we have left? Are we all right?
Of what?
50 minutes.
Oh, cool. Cool. So we have
Actually, 49 minutes now that we've wasted it with some commercial time.
Cool. Right on. All right. I just wanted to check.
Oh,
All right,
man. What a night.
What a night. It hasn't even started. In fact,
You know what?
it just did.
Well, it feels like it's 10 o'clock at night. Doesn't it feel like it's 10?
You know what? Seriously, it feels like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning to me. I'm serious. Bob's over here. Bob's over
Bob's
here
drinking coffee.
It's 6 o'clock.
mainlining coffee. He's got a tube hanging out of his
Did you
arm.
come from teaching your aerobics class?
Headed there after this.
Oh, after.
I would have happily slept through this.
Okay, so Bob's
it's knowing that this is just the beginning.
Bob will have maybe 4 cups of coffee before you.
Just one.
Do you seriously do that much coffee?
No, I haven't had coffee in 2 years. I just started drinking it about a week ago again.
I was like a kid. My grandparents would drink pot after pot after pot. Seriously, it was like it was like their cocaine.
Well, you build up a tolerance level to
Apparently.
it. Yeah, so you got to.
They would go through like 6 pots. You know the big pots
Yeah.
from way back in the day,
from like
the silver
like
things?
IHOP.
Yeah.
The big
The
IHOP
big
size.
pot.
Right.
And my grandfather would make it. My grandmother would yell at him. She smoked a lot. She had a deep voice. She'd go, "It tastes like mud." Let me make the next pot. Would they waste it? No. They would drink their mud, and then she would make another pot.
Now here's the question: were they just drinking it directly right out of the pot, or would they actually
throw
take the time to put it into it?
They threw 2 hoses in and just sucked on the ends. No,
We'll
they,
just throw a straw in there and drink it out this way.
oh, they were caffeine lovers. Those two.
I love it. So I'm driving over here.
Yes.
You know, like when you're sitting at a light and the homeless people are kind of walking up and down the cars, they're getting a little bit more.
Was
guts.
it across from Roscoe's? Keep going, but was it across from Roscoe's, this
I
story?
know this was on Western and Sunset.
Okay, then never mind.
I know what you mean.
Bob,
Yeah.
they're on every corner.
I just had one across from Roscoe's. I was just
well,
wondering
they
if it was
get
the same guy.
they get creative because they were they usually stand on the sidewalk.
No, they come
Now-
into traffic, they
now-
bang on your fucking window, and they fucking grab you by the neck and say, "Do you have a quarter or a dollar?" They're aggressive.
Okay, so I'm waiting to make a left. On the other side of the intersection, this guy's trying to make a right-hand turn. He can't because there's a homeless guy, and I kid you not, twerking the front bumper of his of his car.
Seriously.
I'm not kidding. I
Did
was
you video
laughing.
this?
I pulled out my phone to get it on video just so I could show you guys, and I couldn't fast enough.
What do you do in a
This
situation
guy,
like that?
Press the accelerator.
the light turns. The guy can't make
Seriously.
a right. This guy keeps twerking. I mean, it was not.
Was he rubbing his
He was
bumper?
rubbing his bumper. He was.
Oh, that would have been it. He would have touched my car. He would have been a fucking hood ornament.
That's why I just
Seriously.
said put on the accelerator. Don't you remember just a couple weeks ago when we had to teach him what twerking even
Yes,
was?
yeah.
And now
It's
you're
that
so
stupid
educated.
thing that silly
Well, now-
girl did. I don't care
Well,
about
he-
stuff like that.
well, he did it-
But I understand what it is. You could. It sounds like he was cleaning his bumper,
He was.
like
yeah,
a buff
but
job,
he was
right?
probably buffing his bumper.
What is
Yeah, his-
twerking exactly? Do you wiggle? Do you
It's
do
like
a
a- it's
circle?
No, it's the
Do you
it's the butt thing back and forth.
It's
like
but-
you're humping.
grinding.
Yeah, like you're
So
hump-
you're
yeah.
bending over doing it?
Yeah, you kind of it's kind of like a standing hump.
Is it a give it to me, daddy pose?
Yeah, it's
See, I understand
it's,
that.
It's very black.
So he does his performance.
Black.
No, well, he
that's
does.
what started. It's sort of it's sort of like it was the black girl dance
Bob, you can't say that.
on my show, but on your show I can.
No, he does. So he does his. No, he does. His,
So it's a black dance.
Well, not
black-
anymore.
No,
It started there.
Everybody.
Who started the dance?
Black people.
The
I
girls?
don't know. Oh yeah, no, it's a total girl thing.
Well,
Okay.
guys should not be twerking.
It was a black guy that was doing this, but he was doing. I mean, he did a good job.
Well, and again, it's
How
no
long
longer
did he
a
do
black
it
thing.
for?
Probably 45 seconds, a minute,
Holding up traffic?
holding up traffic. Nobody can make a right.
I would have used the
So what-
accelerator even on
well,
my Prius.
He does his performance. He walks around to collect, and the guy.
Oh, you mean he's doing it because he believes he should
believes
be paid
he
for
should
that
be paid
wonderful
for that
performance?
wonderful performance of holding back this motorist vehicle from proceeding. And
What
yeah.
does this guy look like? Good-looking guy?
No.
He's a homeless man.
I've seen homeless people that
Oh,
aren't
you know,
so
homeless
bad
people can be
looking.
hot, but
Well, okay.
I'm
This,
just saying, it might be their first day out.
He,
Hey, you homeless? Just as of today, you still look good.
I think this guy's been out for a while.
Okay, so
Well, he went to hold out his hand and
And,
collect,
from
and the guy just kept driving.
And if he's twerking, he's out in every sense of the word.
I love the sound effects. Bob, I love the sound effects. Okay, so twerking. And who was the silly white girl who started to make it popular?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
She's annoying.
Her and Robin.
she is.
She's annoying.
Thicke.
No.
I don't blame Robin Thicke. I blame Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
So anyway, okay, yeah, it does feel like it's 3 a.m. The
Yeah.
time change has screwed everybody
it
up.
has. Everyone's getting sick.
Oh God, that too. You know what? And then let's cheer ourselves up.
Yeah.
At least we have the holidays.
Oh, we do.
The worst part of this
We
time
got
of
the
year.
trio. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then New Year's. All
Yeah.
back to back.
They already have Easter baskets up for sale at Target now.
Yeah.
That's that thing from Charlie Brown, right?
I think so.
That's just
Okay, we got to pick this up. here.
Okay, what we're gonna do? We're not even gonna do news because the guests that we have on our show tonight are just mega Hollywood.
I am looking forward
I
to
mean that-
Icons.
Wait,
okay?
say it again. There.
mega Hollywood.
Icon actors.
Let's go deeper.
Bob, can we just do the whole show like that? That was so
No.
Do it one more time. I want to say something really strange.
Do
Okay,
it
go.
to
You
me.
can tell them to come in now. Beautiful.
that was good.
Let's do it again. Who's your daddy? Twerk for me. Twerk for me.
God, I hope
Okay.
I hope they're still here.
So when we come back,
I like that. We're gonna play more with that.
we really do. Maybe
Anyway,
we-
yes.
yeah.
I was so excited when you
But
told
we'll
me they were coming on.
Yeah.
so-
But we're going to introduce them. We'll do the whole intro when they come back right after this.
beautiful.
What were you thinking with Aaron and Scott? The show that gets to the core of all the bull. Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You know, we here at the studio are really athletic guys, and as a result, we're always pulling this, overstretching that. You know how it goes. You get hurt from time to time, or you just sleep wrong and wake up with some sort of ache or pain. But no matter what the situation is, we choose who we consider to be one of the best chiropractors in L.A., Dr. Chet Millett. Headaches, backaches, neck aches. He's the guy we trust with our pain. Dr. Millett is located at Body Structure in Hollywood, California on Cole Street across from Gold's Gym. Seriously, we know this guy. He's got the experience and expertise, and he cares. That's Dr. Chet Millett. Give him a call at 323-469-8062 or look him up on the web at bodystructurela.com, or you can find him on Yelp. Dr. Chet Millett. He's the guy we trust with our pain. From the darkness below, an intense and thrilling game by the creators of Appcode Source, bringing the ultimate Gangnam game directly to your devices. Gangnam Speedrunner. Now available on your app store. Get ready to run. This app is rated G for Gangnam. Visit GangnamSpeedrunner.com. Work it.
Yeah. We don't want to leave her out.
Oh, we don't want to leave her out. No.
Everybody's here.
Everybody, Bob.
Could you do that thing one quick time?
We would like to welcome you.
They're like looking around. What icons?
No. What a great tune that is, huh?
Man,
God,
that
it
catchy. I could just
it just
roll in
gives
my
me
SUV
chills.
and play that at the stoplight. You know.
I'm more concerned now that I just figured out who your guest is. I don't do horror movies very well,
Bob.
but just keep the mask off. I'm just gonna pretend you're just a really hot, sexy guy, and I'm like, I'm in.
Bob,
What do you mean
know,
pretend?
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm not pretending about that part. I'm pretending about the part that
You're just gonna
that's all
forget.
he is. Yeah.
Bob, you don't got to worry about the mask. You got to worry about the knife.
Yeah, it's always the weapon I worry about.
Yeah, Bob doesn't like scary movies. I think even Old Yeller was a little too much for me.
It was.
Well, guys, welcome. I mean, obviously,
Old Yeller.
Well, yeah. Tyler, I mean, everybody knows you as, obviously Michael Myers. But one thing I didn't know is, Scott was telling me that you were Nitro, right? Was it Nitro?
Nitron.
Oh, Nitron.
Yeah.
Sometimes they called you Nitro, though, right?
Only when they fucked up. It was
Really?
It was Big Sky and Nitron.
Also, when he
Nitro.
was wrestling in Mexico, it was Nitron.
Oh,
So
Nitron.
Sounds a little.
Okay.
It depended where I was wrestling.
Yeah. Did
And
you
then,
Did you like that? The wrestling?
You know, it was a great stepping stone for where I am today.
Yeah.
So
Now this was late '80s, right?
he's telling me I want to be a little bit closer, but you guys had it set for a midget here. Yeah, well, thanks you guys. Thanks for having me. On this.
He carries a
Holy
knife.
I love it.
I know.
I love it. I love the midget joke.
That's why I
There
didn't
we
reach
go.
over and adjust it for him myself. That's
No.
why I just pointed.
Well, you should have. There we go. All right. Now, can you hear me
You're
now?
beautiful now.
Yes,
All right.
actually, you
Wow.
sound great.
Yeah,
So
no, I mean, it was a
th-
great stepping stone for where I am today. I did 11 and a half years, wrestled all over the world, wrestled a lot of the top guys, started back in 86, retired in 99, and here
There
I
were a
am
lot
making
of
movies.
big ones. A lot of big ones who are now. Andre the Giant was around then, right?
Yeah, I
wrestled
wrestled Andre in Japan,
Wow,
in the
really?
Tokyo Dome, yeah.
How about Rick Rude? Remember him?
Yeah, I used to travel with Rick Rude.
I knew Rick Rude through a publicist of his. His name was Warren Seabury back in the day. I don't know if you ever remember him, but he represented Rick Rude and Diamond Dallas Page.
Diamond
Yeah.
Dallas Page. He's awesome.
Dallas, yeah.
I'd see him every once in a while. I used to see him over
Yeah.
at Gold's.
Yep.
So really cool guys.
Yeah.
Very cool guys.
So, wow. But Andre the Giant,
yeah.
he was one ugly fucker, wasn't he?
He was heavy, too.
Yeah.
But a
Yeah.
sweetheart, though.
Yeah,
Gentle.
yeah.
I mean,
Nice
a
guy,
gentle
huh?
giant.
Yeah, really nice guy, took care of you, but when you got that much weight landing on you in the middle of the ring, it doesn't matter. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
How about the Hulkster?
I never worked with the Hulk.
Oh,
Never worked with the Hulk.
yeah. Have you met him at all?
I've ran into him, yeah,
Yeah.
a few times,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant. And he died early, if I recall, right?
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
A lot sooner than he should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
A lot
right-
of
right
them
after-
have.
Right after
Yeah.
Tyler wrestled him was when he passed away. Did you say you were the last person to wrestle him?
I think it was the last or one of the last to wrestle him, yeah.
Really? How much did he weigh?
Too fucking much. I don't know, man. I never got him on a scale.
When it's over 300 years, you're just
Wow.
And now keep in mind that when Tyler was wrestling, he was weighing about 350. So
Yeah.
he was, 100 pounds bigger than he is now.
Yeah.
And I look like a toothpick wrestling him.
Yeah.
Did you injure yourself? Break any bones?
My whole body is tore up. I
From
mean, like,
wrestling.
from wrestling, yeah. I mean, if I wake up in the morning and something isn't hurting, I'm going to be dead.
That makes
But-
so much sense now why
my
Michael
God,
Myers
you know.
doesn't run. He just walks.
Exactly, right?
No, that's really
I was like,
interesting.
hey, damn, I'll take that role.
He doesn't have to run. Perfect.
With the wrestling, that's the staged wrestling, right?
Yeah.
But even so, you still get
Oh,
beat up.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
mean,
anytime you have 300 pounders picking each other up and slamming each
Yeah.
other, it gets carried away and it gets crazy. And
Did
you
you
get
have
hurt.
schools you had to go to then?
Yeah,
because they do now. They're all over now.
Yeah, you do have schools. I went. I was training actually with the Hearts
in Canada.
In Canada,
Yeah.
I was down in the dungeon with Stu Hart, and then from there the WWE came in, or WWF at the time,
Right.
Red Bastien, and I came down here and started training with him.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting. So broken bones, kind of
and
stuff?
knock on wood, no broken bones, but
a lot of beat up.
tore muscles. Yeah,
And you were saying that a lot of them
Dislocated.
are dead now. A lot
I wasn't saying that.
yeah,
Or
yeah. A lot of
you-
them are. Yeah, a lot of the guys that I hung out with.
sooner than they should have been.
A lot of them. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, I mean, it's a tough lifestyle, man. I mean, it's you're doing anything to get your ass in that ring to get a paycheck, and it's hard on your body, you know. And I'm just glad that I got to transition out of it.
yeah.
It's
And
not
you
what
did.
it's not what people think, you know. I mean, you got 10 minutes of stardom and fame, and then you got 23 hours and 50 minutes of total fucking boredom trying to get to your next place.
Yeah.
It's not.
I had a guy
You know.
that tried to get
Yeah.
me into the WCW. So I thought I'd be a great wrestler. 'Cause I used to fight like Ultimate Fighting, and so he's like, "Hey, you'd be a good transition. You're a good size." I wouldn't do it. I just
Well, it's
No.
like football.
I would've
Football
had my
players, by the
legs
time they're
ripped off
30,
and-
30 years
Yeah.
old, you're
Yeah.
you're completely trashed.
High
most of the
testosterone.
time.
Yeah.
You know. So even though they are staged, like you said, you fall off onto your back, and you
You're
weigh
falling. You're
you
falling
weigh,
on your back.
you weigh 200 pounds
can't-
plus,
and you can't
Right.
get up.
that's lousy. God.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
a tough way
anyway.
to make a living.
Yeah.
That's why I moved on to film.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So tell us, I guess with Michael Myers, how did that come about?
I did the Devil's Rejects with Rob.
Okay.
I worked with him for like 4 days. I took over the role of Rufus, and did that, and what was it? On a year later or so,
Yeah,
the
it was about a
phone
year
rings. I'm getting ready to talk to producers in Canada. The phone rings, and Rob's on the phone, and he says, "Hey, I'm doing Halloween, and I want you to be Michael Myers. And if you don't do it, I'm not doing it." So I was like, "Okay."
Very cool.
And then ended up doing 2 of them with him.
What was your feel on? You would have been a teenager when Halloween came out, right? Early teens, maybe.
Yeah. The first
Maybe
one was in
11?
'78.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was both your reaction when you saw it? Did you see it as a teenager?
Yeah, I did. You know, I'm the kind of guy that when I went and saw Jaws, I didn't want to go in the bathtub for 2 weeks
Yeah.
afterwards.
Hello?
You know what I mean?
That was me.
Right?
I couldn't go in a fucking lake for 2 years.
I know,
afterwards.
right?
If it had water, seriously, if there were water, I didn't want to. I saw a fin, and people were like, "It's a pool."
You heard the music.
It's a pool. They can't. He's not in the. I'm not trusting it.
No, I know. I mean, it's people go, oh, you should go on a cruise. Hell no, man.
No.
They know that, and they go, oh, ships are safe. That's what they said about the Titanic, right? Until it sank.
Hello. It's got to be a Sagittarius thing. I'm
It
the
is.
same
I mean, that's
way.
like wavelengths.
People
here.
say all the time, well, why don't you just fly? The day I get used to 400 tons in the air doing, 500 miles an hour, I'm the same way. But so you liked it. It scared you. Michael Myers had a very profound effect on you.
Yeah, definitely.
He wouldn't die.
Any of those movies did.
Yeah.
I was a big chicken shit. Yeah. And then now I'm now I'm making them.
Yeah.
So,
Can I totally throw you under the bus here?
Oh, you just take the bus, drive over me, and back it up and park it on me. Go for it.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, thanks.
So when we first started dating, what was the name? What was the movie that I See Dead People?
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Thank you. It was on TV, and I was watching it, and he was sitting over in the chair on the other side of the room, and I don't remember what happened, but all of a sudden he looked at me and he went, "This is creepy." And he came over and he sat next to me on the couch. Sixth Sense.
I was trying to take care of you, hon.
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure you were okay.
And then he did the little, and put his arm around me. No, he was scared.
For protection, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That's
So we
awesome.
actually do have a lot in common. See?
So I mean, they still freak me out today. I mean, like when I saw the Halloween that I did, when you have the music and the score and everything put together with the sound effects and everything, it scared the hell out of me about 4 times when I first saw it. I jumped,
Well,
and
do you
I
know-
scared the shit out of myself.
Do you know how the size of Michael Myers in the first Halloween, John Carpenter's? Do you know what kind of a size of a guy that was?
Yeah, a lot shorter.
Because you remember how they
everybody's a
made
lot
him
shorter.
the
Yeah.
thing in the kitchen with straight up with the guy.
Yeah.
They made him look like he had some, and then going out the window, being shot and disappearing.
Yeah.
A little superpower going on here. I pictured him as being a little bigger,
Well,
especially when he lifted that
unstoppable.
kid up. The kid went off of his feet, and you're thinking he just seems like a bigger guy. You're much bigger than he was then.
Well, that's true, but it's called movie magic.
That's right. Well, if they did magic with him, imagine what they do with you.
Well, they didn't need to. You know what
Exactly.
Now, I was watching some interviews that you've done, and people ask you, a lot of the questions. How do you get that role ready for Michael Myers? And on one of the clips, you said that you would you watched a lot of the older Halloweens and kind of studied them. How were you able to turn on that psychological switch to go from nice guy that you are now to like crazy psycho killer?
I mean, it's just something that you just get used to doing. I mean, it's like when I'm wrestling, I usually played the heel, the bad guy, so you got to turn it on and off and that. But it's just something.
Is it when the mask comes on that it's like that you transform instantly?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I tried on the mask, I went to Wayne Toss' shop and put on the mask because he molded it to my face.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you put the jumpsuit on, you put the mask on, and then the prop guy hands you the knife, and you're like, I'm going to kill somebody. It was kind of cool.
Where did you
It
film
was
it?
kind of cool. First one we filmed here in L.A., and then we filmed in Georgia, the second one, where Renee got to play one of the cops that got to shoot up my ass.
Wow. How was that working together in the second one?
It was great for me. When I originally auditioned, I actually auditioned for a few different characters in that film. And when Rob said, okay, so we're gonna have you play this character of this deputy, and I said, well, how do I die? And that was all I wanted. How do I die? And he said, he kind of looked a little bit. He said, "Well, you don't die," and I said, "Oh." And he said, "But you get to shoot your husband." And I said, "I am sold. I'm in. I'm in." That
How
was
many
great.
how many Halloweens were there? There was like
Oh, God,
9,
I think-
right?
Yeah, I think there's more than that now. I think there's
Yeah.
probably
There's
11.
Halloween 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
4. Then
H2O.
And then
or,
yeah,
There was
5,
H2O,
yeah, and then
Resurrection.
H2O, Resurrection.
Resurrection.
And then 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
it's
There's been a
crazy.
lot of them.
What was the
A
other
lot.
movie we were talking about earlier where they keep doing it?
Nightmare,
The Dead.
Friday,
Oh,
Night of the Living Dead.
Friday the 13th.
Well, Nightmare on
Night
Friday
of, the
the
Living,
13th.
Night of the Living Dead 2, 3, Return of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead,
Yeah.
Day After
Yeah.
Tomorrow of the Dead, this Saturday the Dead.
Well,
Those
this is-
zombies just won't go away.
They won't.
No, it's just
They just
it's crazy.
keep coming.
So you filmed it in Georgia, the second one?
Second one was in Georgia. Yeah.
Wow. And we're here in LA. Did you film
We
it?
were in Pasadena for some of it, and then we were downtown LA for some of it.
Now,
and-
some of it in the original Halloween was shot in Pasadena.
yeah.
The
yeah.
original Michael Myers house
Yep.
was filmed there.
Yep.
The actual house was on Orange Grove, right?
That
No,
I-
that's-
that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that they're
Is it
doing a
Orange Grove?
35 years of terror, which is it's been 35 years since the first one came out.
Yeah.
And it's coming up not this weekend, but the next weekend in Pasadena, and
The
they're
15th
going to
and
have
16th of November.
tours of where the house was and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
Whatever street is just this way of Fairfax.
Well,
That's
there's
what-
Elm Street, which is right over there.
No, it's not Elm
Okay.
Street.
it's
No,
a different
that's
movie.
the wrong guy.
No,
That's
this,
Genesee.
it's definitely.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I was just sometimes he gets
Whatever-
things mixed up.
No, I'm totally cool on
Oh
this
my
one.
God, you guys sound just like we do.
Yeah.
And he's always like, don't tell
like
him I told the
we're
story
like a
wrong.
married couple.
Yeah, I know. Well, whatever street it is, it's just east of Fairfax. That's where the house is. And they use the exterior of the one and the interior across the street, down the street.
Yeah.
And it's creepy because you walk into that house and there's those stairs and you're like, oh, God, you just know the fucker's somewhere in there.
So now you, Dee Wallace, was in the movie, and how was that working with Dee?
It was fantastic. She is such a sweetheart. I mean, like everybody from the cast was just amazing to work with.
Scott,
You know?
Scott's a huge fan of hers. In fact, she's coming on the show next week, and
I love Dee Wallace.
He's tickled to death.
She's a
Isn't
sweetheart.
that amazing? She goes from Hills Have Eyes to E.T.,
Cujo.
Cujo.
Yeah.
And it's like,
She's had an amazing career. Yeah.
she's phenomenal.
So-
Phenomenal. Wow.
So in this movie, you
6'9".
you
Well, actually 6'8". You know, that's pushing it a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Well,
so
no,
check
what-
this
what I
out.
was
Hold
gonna-
on.
no,
the
hold-
mask is bad enough.
Yeah.
But throw it on 6'8".
And a half.
with the hair, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, really. That's why I asked how big he was in the first movie. Because he appeared to be a good sized guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
No, but
6'8",
well, I mean, the
that's pretty
character that
cool.
Dee plays on the movie, she doesn't go down pretty. I mean, what Michael does to her in the movie, and in fact, let me see here.
Does
you,
anybody go down pretty? Really?
It's a Rob
what was
Zombie
it-
movie,
what was
right?
it?
Come on.
So let's see. So Michael cuts her, grabs her, throws her through a glass coffee table,
Yeah.
and then breaks her neck. Right?
Yeah, I can't remember what I
And
did
I
to her,
think-
but the whole time Dee was flinging books at me and all kinds of shit off, and I'm like, oh God, will you just die already?
Well, there was word that you were afraid of, obviously hurting her, and you were, because you're, a really
Well-
nice guy, but
Well,
she's
yeah,
like,
you got to
yeah,
take care of
you
who
gotta-
you're working with.
Well, of course, yeah.
So
Unless
But
you're
it
the
was
little
gay.
girl and then you throw books at him.
Yeah, Michael doesn't.
yeah, right. I'm sitting here trying to be nice, and like I'm dodging books, like whoa, Jesus, throwing pokers at me, and all kinds of shit.
So let me ask you this: Michael Myers, Tyler Mane.
yeah.
Is there anything in common with the two?
If you'd see him in the morning, you'd think so.
Yeah, before I get my first cup of coffee.
And to go back to your earlier point, there's a lot of coffee drinking going on in our house. And like your grandparents, we don't have the pot of coffee. We actually have the coffee maker where you grind the cup
Yeah.
and make it. So it's so easy to just do 2 shots of espresso,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
gone fast. Oh, another 2 shots of espresso. This guy, when you get him aggro in the morning after like 6 he turns into freaking Beavis. So there's that.
So now, Renee, you're an actress as well,
Yes.
and writer, and then you actually used to be a former comic book editor.
I actually still do
Oh,
that.
you still do that?
I do. I spin
I
a lot of
told you
plates.
that.
Yeah.
You're the one who said she retired.
Well,
Married couple.
it's okay. Sometimes he gets these things mixed up. Anyway.
See, they contradict each other too.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you guys have your own production company,
Main
Yeah, Main
Entertainment.
Main Entertainment. So you guys are doing writing and then filming and acting in it as well. So how's that? I mean, that's got to be.
You go for this
Do you
one,
guys
huh?
spend a lot of time together? And
Oh, so much.
24 hours
So
a day.
much time.
What does Main Entertainment do? What are you guys working on right now?
Well, right now we're working on our second feature, which is Penance Lane, that we've got an Indiegogo campaign up. But our first picture is Compound Fracture, that just before we went on tour the last time, we signed the deal with Level 33 for North American distribution. So it'll be coming out hopefully in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Our first one, second one, Indiegogo campaign, Penance Lane, and then we have about 6 or 7 other pictures on
On the docket.
the docket
Wow.
Nice.
in various
Yeah.
stages. Yeah.
Nice. I
so-
didn't mean to interrupt you. So now
No,
go on
no.
with talking.
No, I was just.
No, I'll interrupt you. I was talking
tell
to
me,
them.
No, so tell me more
Anyway.
about Main Entertainment.
Well, what happened? Tyler and I actually met. So long, 12 years ago in 2000. He didn't call me. And then we re-met in 2001.
Where'd you meet?
So in trouble.
Oh,
Chicago convention. He was supporting X-Men. He played Sabretooth in the first X-Men.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he was there supporting that, and I was there as an editor for Top Cow. I think at the time I had so many titles there. I was probably managing editor at that time or VP publishing. I'm not sure. But we met there, and we started dating. We dated for several years, I think. But he always wanted to create his own production company because obviously with his stature, that we keep talking about,
Right.
it's tough in this town to get roles that you're not pigeonholed into as that guy who's 6'8.5".
Yeah.
So he wanted to write his own scripts and come up with his own material. And obviously I was really supportive of him doing that. And after all my time in comic book development and writing with comics, it just seemed a natural progression for both of us to create our own material.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Now, I wanted to ask you, with wrestling, they
Yeah.
tend to exaggerate heights and weights as well, don't they?
oh yeah.
I noticed
mean,
that
was
when I
like-
met Rick Rude. He was not the 6'6" that they said he was.
Yeah.
He was not.
I was billed at 7'1" sometimes and 400 pounds.
He's the only guy that actually, when I said 6'9", said it's 6'8". That's the first. Diamond Dallas, same thing.
Yeah.
I used to see him on a regular basis. I think it happens even with celebrities because I've met Lou Ferrigno quite a few times.
Yeah.
Big guy, but not 6'5".
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, good sized guy. Not 6'2". Not 6. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I just thought it was very interesting that you
Yeah.
corrected me and went.
But you guys have gotten raving reviews on the projects that you've worked on. Been
So
great,
far.
all positive. Yeah,
Thank
I mean
you,
it's
yeah.
been wonderful. And so, what is there something that you want to promote or push with something that you're working on now, or that you're wanting to let the viewers, the listeners know about?
Yeah. Well, go ahead. The Indiegogo campaign that I was just talking about.
Yeah.
We're right in the midst of the throes of our Indiegogo for Penance Lane.
Okay.
And there's a lot of cool stuff that we have for. I guess what do you call them? Rewards or
incentives.
perks? Incentives?
what exactly is it? Indiegogo. Explain exactly what it is.
Well, Indiegogo is a crowdfunding page where you get
Like
the
a
fans,
Kickstarter.
like
Okay.
Kickstarter, where you get the fans to help out and help you fund the film. We're
Okay.
only using it to fund a small portion of the film. We're using it to raise the awareness and let people know that this is our second project coming.
Gotcha.
But we've got replica prop knives on there that I'm going to sign from Halloween.
knives, yeah.
We've got
Nice.
the I put my Michael Myers Halloween boots up for grabs and some walk-on rolls to Penance Lane and what else do we got on there? All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's well, the big thing that we're doing with this, when we did Compound Fracture, it was our first movie out of the gate, and in this economy, it's so easy for people to make films,
Right.
And Compound Fracture is a supernatural thriller. It's not your typical B-movie slasher, and that's one of the biggest compliments that we get with people coming out to see our tour is that this is really not what I expected. It was a great movie. There was a lot of character, there was a lot of depth, but yet there was a lot of scare to it, and so when we decided to take this movie out, we wanted to bring it personally, kind of to give that extra added bonus touch. So we took it on a Grindhouse style tour, which you want to talk about. What were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I love it. I love it.
That's why we have the show.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
But it ended up being great. I mean, we had such a fun time. And
Where did you go?
But we went
Canada.
in Canada and throughout the U.S. But we started,
Midwest.
I wanted to take it out to the fans to raise awareness for Maine Entertainment, and we started. We'll do a 20-city tour, and then I go 30, 40. We're like, okay,
And I was
let's
like,
do
what?
a 70-city tour, and then
Wow.
but then.
And each time you're dealing with a whole different large group of
completely
people.
different market. Completely
Yeah, different
new,
market.
Demographic
Doing-
across the
Totally
board.
different.
Always everything from 7 to 70.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
we had some 10-year-old kids come to see the movie, and they're my favorite because after we would screen the film, we would do a meet and greet beforehand, kind of for people who love Tyler as Michael Myers and Sabretooth and in Troy and all that stuff, and they would get stuff signed, and then after the film we would do a Q&A, and some of these kids asked the best questions. They were they were so engaged in the film and in the content and in the story, and they would ask questions about the research and stuff like that. And I'm looking at all the adults like, you guys are sleeping on the job here because this kid just rocked my world. So a lot of the entire age range came out. Well, Muse Watson is in it, who has a huge following from his role as Mike Franks on NCIS.
Okay.
So we
And
had
he was also the killer, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
yeah,
and-
Ben
Right.
Willis and Leslie Easterbrook is in it, who's one of my favorite people. If you haven't had her on your show, you need to because she's so awesome. Leslie Easterbrook was Mama Firefly in Devil's Rejects, and she was on Laverne and Shirley. She was their neighbor Rhonda. She was what was her name in Police Academy? McClanahan. She was the
Yeah, I know what you're talking
blonde
about.
cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta do
Well,
that.
I'm glad you did that, not me.
I always forget her name. Callahan.
I'm
Everybody out
going-
there
I'm
in the
type-
radio world right
I'm
now
typing
is
as
like,
fast as
she's
I
done.
can.
Bob, who is it?
It's all
Well,
about
if
the
you've seen Police Academy,
I have.
You the blonde.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. She's
Wow.
phenomenal.
Sergeant Callahan.
Sergeant Callahan.
Callahan.
Yeah,
thank
you're
you.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in it, but then we also had Derek Mears, who played Jason in Friday the 13th, which is a funny story because Derek lives 2.5 blocks from us in our neighborhood. So we TP each other. He watches the kids when we're gone. It's kind of a fun
Which
little-
Friday the 13th?
The
The
remake.
new one. The newest one, yeah.
Because that's another one that there's like 42 of them.
Any
I know,
any
yeah.
rivalry between the two characters? Between you got Michael Myers and you got
Halloween in your neighborhood
Yeah.
must be great. Between you and him.
God, your neighbors.
Can I have your
Can
address
you
so I don't
imagine?
ever go?
The children
the
alone
tri-
must just be, come on over to my
the
neighborhood. We got what's his
trick-or-treaters.
name here and what's his name there.
All we need is Freddy in the neighborhood.
No
Yeah.
shit.
The
Triumvirate
perfect
there.
triumvirate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
A monopoly on
Freddy
Halloween.
Krueger.
Yeah.
Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So you like horror.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I love it. I love just watching it and just seeing what other people do with it. You know.
Let me ask you this. Maybe both
Yeah.
of you have the same feel on this, but what are your top 5 horror movies?
Ooh, that's a.
Oh,
And let me clarify this. It doesn't need to be like we were talking. For something to be scary doesn't mean it needs blood and guts. Like
Right.
some of the scariest, like
Yeah.
Halloween wasn't the blood and guts.
Right.
Hills Have Eyes wasn't blood and guts.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they scare the shit
Yeah.
out of you.
Yep.
What would you say are like your top 5?
I'm going to have to go with
Of all
Jaws,
time.
Jaws,
Bingo.
Shining.
Bingo.
What
Carrie.
else? Carrie. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Carrie's awesome. And
My-
I just watched
I
it
love
again
Carrie.
and it holds
Yeah,
up.
I love Carrie.
You better say My Halloween.
Tyler's Halloween.
There we go.
I have to say the movie that creeped me out the most was The Ring. The first time I
oh
saw
my-
The Ring, I couldn't
Shit.
turn
Yeah.
the lights out. It was 3
Do
o'clock.
you
in the
know
morning.
I had to
haven't
move
seen
my
The Ring.
TV
Yeah.
out of my
Couldn't do it.
bedroom.
Yeah, no, right? Because you
I
couldn't
haven't
turn
seen
the
it.
TV off because
Well,
it was going
you
to
need
come
to
back
see it.
on
She was going
Really?
to come
You
right
need
out of
to
that
see it.
television. Oh.
with her creepy.
I
like,
was out of town when she watched it,
Oh, it was horrible.
and she calls me. She goes,
Horrible.
"Oh my God, I can't go to bed. It's like so late." I'm like, "Well, I'm in bed, so deal with it."
The irony of the whole thing was that somebody said, one of my friends said, I think you would like this movie, but I know how you are about horror films, Scott Tucker.
Yeah.
I know how you are about horror films, so maybe you should watch this in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm a Saturday afternoon, sun's out, I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I watched this movie. I was just devastated for
I was scared.
like 3
I
days.
can't do it in the
I had to have
morning.
that
I
bathroom
can't
light
do
on.
it.
You know the
I'm
one they
gonna
did
have to watch
actually
that.
was Mama.
I love
Oh,
that
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Oh, I just got so
Yeah.
excited. I just totally got
Mama.
What the hell's Mama? I must
Oh,
have
that
missed
movie was
one too.
Shit.
Is that scary?
it.
What kind of movies do you
Guillermo-
watch, Scott?
Guillermo
You
del
watch
Toro.
Disney movies or what?
No. I mean, I've seen Jeepers Creepers. I've seen The Hills Have Eyes. I've seen.
Scott tends to be more of a classic type scary
That's true.
movies.
Do you remember
Oh,
Race
okay.
with the
He's-
Devil?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Sure,
You
Oh,
do.
You guys are.
I do.
Yeah, he's
Very
more of a
creepy.
classic.
There you
I'm-
go.
No
There you
Blood
go.
and Guts. Loretta Swit at her best.
No, seriously. Yeah.
Race with the Devil. Very creepy. But you know what? Like Alien did nothing for me because
Yeah.
to me it's not real. It's,
Right.
Come on, it's
You're
coming
like-
out of here. But
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
That's how I feel about it. It's just none of my own business.
Michael Myers is real.
He's had his
a
finger
guy.
poised on
He's
that
a
button
guy
for a
who
really
can
long
put on
time.
a mask.
Yeah.
But
I
so
mean, he could hide anywhere. It's like- and
if it's got a realistic aspect,
It does.
It's going
Yeah.
to be more scary.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it could happen, and that was the creepy thing with Halloween 2 that we did, because it was Michael Myers' transition back to Haddonfield. So that's why I
Yeah.
had the long beard and
Right.
you know, anybody on the
Anybody
street
here
could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody seen V for Vendetta?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a good movie.
I don't consider that a horror film.
I don't
though.
either, but it
Yes,
was
I
kind
saw
of
Well, that was an Alan Moore comic book first, so
Yeah.
I had to go see
good
it.
movie though.
Yeah.
Very, very good movie.
Natalie Portman shaved her head. Everybody
And-
had to go see that.
And then
Yes.
there's the Three Little Pigs. Has anyone?
Driving Miss Daisy.
What's,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Tell us all about it, Bob. No.
I'm definitely going to have to see The Ring.
The Ring was crazy.
yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Best Little Marigold Hotel. Also not a horror. Please tell me you saw it.
I'm halfway through it.
Oh.
Totally serious. It's in my TiVo. I'm like
and I-
halfway through it.
Or the Grudge.
The Grudge. Although I think the reason The Ring freaked me out, and again, I think the same reason why Halloween was so scary is because it was so sort of seminal. It was the first real. What's the word I'm looking for? Steadicam shot. It was the first time some of that stuff was shot like that. So
Right.
you watch it now and you don't realize how important that was to horror films.
For people who don't know what that means, explain that.
The opening shot of
The
Halloween.
Steadicam and all that.
The opening shot of Halloween was a very experimental shot at the time, and they made a rig so that they could walk and carry the camera instead of using mechanics, which in today's day and age is Steadicam is
It's the norm.
the norm
Yeah.
on TV.
That's-
but
yeah,
that was the first time they did it.
Because Steadicam, for what Scott's saying, is it's you literally wear it on your body,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and prior to that, you would have just a stationary camera, and sometimes you would have it on a dolly rig, which would essentially be able to pull forward and move side to side
Or a
front and
crane,
back. Yeah,
or a
but like
jib.
we're like
You were
6 or
very
7
limited,
feet.
yeah.
But when you have it strapped to your body, you can literally run with your actor and follow your actor and chase after your actor and get a complete 360.
It's more
which is-
realistic,
it's,
too,
It's,
right?
it's, the,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's what put the TV show ER on the map.
Yeah.
Because it was the very first TV show to use Steadicam, where all of a sudden the set was a complete 360,
Yeah.
as opposed to just you're only getting the one image.
Yeah.
strapped
Yeah.
to.
But
no,
it was-
I know what they.
Speaking of Steadicams, BJ McDonnell is one of the best Steadicam operators I've
Yeah.
ever worked with, and he is going to be directing Penance Lane. He was the director of Hatchet 3, the new
Yeah.
Hatchet 3. So yeah.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
we're pulling
Yeah.
pulling Halloween people. We're pulling friends in. We're having a good time making our movies.
This is very,
awesome.
very cool.
Pulling the
It's
best
about
of the
creating
best.
a family.
So
Yeah.
all thriller, horror that you guys are making, or is that pretty much your genre? Or,
Well, at this moment it is, but I think what we want to do is establish ourselves and show people what we can do as a company.
Right.
But ultimately, both of us have other interests. I mean, I really want to be in a Western, so there's that. I want to ride guns and shoot
guns
horses.
and shoot
No,
horses.
no,
There
I
you
did not
go.
say that. That was not what I meant.
I'm so proud of myself for biting my tongue right now. I'm so proud of myself.
we know what she was trying to say.
Bob is
Lordy,
always
lordy.
you don't know.
naughty.
You don't know where I
Bob
was
is
trying
always
to.
naughty.
Say
Well,
it.
now the whole room
Now
is
you-
looking
now
at
you
Bob.
gotta- Now you
I
got to
just-
say it.
I
Just
just,
say
I,
it.
I feel like you already have a horse to ride. That's essentially where I was going with it. I don't know,
Yes.
I'll leave it.
And
at that.
he's working
Got
his
it.
own sound effects.
I got to tell you just did something that Tyler does all the time, which is he comes up with something completely inappropriate. He laughs to himself, and then he says, "I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that. I'm not going to say that."
'Cause it's
And then
not
he says it anyway. Because now he just told you that he knows it's not appropriate, so now it's okay to say it.
And then she goes, "What were you thinking?"
What were you thinking?
Aaron and Scott.
With Aaron and Scott.
That's right. That's awesome.
What about, we haven't talked at all about X-Men, because that's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sabretooth?
Yeah, I mean that was with doing the X-Men. That's when I hung up the wrestling boots and retired from the wrestling. But I mean, it was a fantastic experience working with all those guys, and just to bring to life an iconic character like that was amazing.
And is there any, because I know they're filming the new one right now, it's getting ready to come out. Have you had any, are you excited that they've been rebooting it? Have you any association with any of that?
I haven't talked to him. Hopefully, eventually, maybe for the next one. You never know.
Yeah.
But I would love to reprise the role of Sabretooth.
Sometimes you
just
just got to
wanna-
put it out there.
I want to go visit him on set with the hair and the teeth and the jacket. Yep. You know where I'm going with that, Bob.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
I do.
he's in character, though.
I don't know where this show's going.
There's an after show. But, how long was that makeup? Because was it full body? Like, were you in a?
Yeah, no, I mean it took about
now.
4.5 hours to get it on. It was a prosthetic forehead and then gluing on facial hair and all kinds of stuff like that.
Because it was because you were one of the rare ones that
Can
had
you
sort
get
of
a
like
picture of that up?
Yeah, I have it up.
Yeah, and then I wore just a ton of
I
leather,
Yeah, I
leather and fur.
Was
It a
that
great
was it
outfit.
heavy? I mean, with
It was very heavy.
Yeah.
it was really heavy.
Those are intense
Leather,
eyebrows.
yeah. I mean, it was a fantastic costume.
And you had to run obviously and move quickly and
Yeah, that was fun.
How long?
that much
How long
weight.
did it take you to film Halloween?
The Halloween was what, a couple months, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2
Total?
months, and then about 2 months total,
Those were
and
fast
then
shoots.
yeah.
but the X-Men was about a 6-month shoot.
The Halloween, your second one, I believe, made around 80 million, right?
Yeah, I mean, combined they're well over 100 million, and I think the first Halloween still holds the
Labor Day box office record.
office record. Yeah,
So far.
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
And I think that was like 15 million I was reading to make, right?
I don't know. I guess
pretty
yeah,
good.
somewhere in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's always
yeah.
you never know
I mean, it's a
online
great
when they
franchise.
say that. You never
Yeah.
know what's real and what's not. But
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny. Speaking of money, though, just because I had pulled this up earlier, because you wanted to know how tall the original Michael Myers was.
Nick Castle.
He was. Oh, it's Nick's. Then never mind. This guy was.
Whoa.
This guy was Tony Moran. Who was this one?
Tony Moran.
Tony
Tony
Moran.
Moran was
Well-
the first one, wasn't he?
Yeah, this
Wow.
this is the first. That's what I pulled up.
Yeah, I don't think that he actually wore the mask. I don't know. I don't know the history of all that, and I'm not gonna.
oh,
Stick
now
my nose in
he's
the
losing on the
politics.
trivia game.
No, I know.
Halloween trivia game. Tyler Maine.
Tony.
Ask me who the tallest Michael Myers was.
You.
Exactly.
And that's all that matters, Bob. That's all.
Well,
But, I know Tony. I know Tony. I've met him quite a few times. He's like, yeah.
He's 6 feet. Well, he's 6 feet tall. He's the brother of Aaron Moran, who was Joni of Joni and
Yep.
Chachi on the Happy
Yes.
Days. But they said his salary was only $250. So obviously, maybe he was. Who was the other guy you said?
Nick Castle.
Nick Castle.
Well, I think I was just having a discussion with Justin Beam, who has worked with the Halloween franchise, and he's producing with us on Penance Lane.
Bringing it back.
And-
Bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Bringing it back, keeping it real, Penance Lane. There we go. But he said that there were a lot of people in the first movie that actually wore the mask or was a stand-in.
Played the
or,
shape.
Wow.
There was.
Very
I
interesting.
think about 8 of them in the first one.
Wow.
So there wasn't just one guy.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Was whatever crew member they could find. Like
Exactly.
Get this on it.
Maybe what's his name was sick one day and they just grabbed what's his name?
Yeah. I mean, it was back in the day. That's the way they did things.
They really didn't show much of him.
No.
I don't think you even saw the only time you saw his full frame was when he was carrying that body out the back and went into the front door. Other than that, it was like a shot behind a window,
Behind a bush.
breathing. We heard more breathing than we saw seeing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
So
if you
Nick
think about
Castle was 5'10", and he was paid $25 a day in 1978.
Wow.
that. Nick Castle. So they're saying Nick Castle and
Thank God the salaries went up. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say.
well, the original actually was
I
only
made more as a damn paperboy back then.
300,000 to make that, right?
Yeah.
The original Halloween with
It was a real guerrilla
325,000.
filmmaking kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like
Yeah.
a real indie movie
Yeah.
back in the day when you didn't have a lot of indie movies.
Well, it's like when they did Hills Have Eyes.
Same
Kinda
thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, real low budget.
Yeah.
So they're saying that two of those guys, Chachi's girlfriend's brother. And what's his name?
I love that.
I lost you.
Good to know you listen.
You know,
Yeah, Chachi's girlfriend's brother and the other guy.
Tony Moran and
Nick
and
Castle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Nick Castle went on to be a director
Yeah.
Yes.
of a lot of things.
You are
Yeah.
just a wealth of knowledge.
He's got the computer.
I'm
as
just
a-
sitting,
I know.
I'm
He's
sitting in
on
front
it.
of I'm sitting in front of Google.
He's not just on
But
Facebook.
what's interesting though is that it lists him as the Shape in Halloween. It doesn't list him as Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Castle.
Oh, well,
See?
The what?
The
The
shape.
yeah, the shape, yeah.
As in I don't know. You're talking to the wrong person about what I'm talking about. But
Well, and you
it
know,
says
and that's
The
the
Shape.
thing, and that's why when
You just
Rob-
said there's
when-
multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah, but when Rob explained to me about his vision of Halloween, he wanted Michael Myers to be more than a one-dimensional character, you know, hence not being just the shape.
Yeah.
Actually bringing Michael Myers to life, which was kind of cool. You know, he showed the backstory of how he became a product of his environment and turned into the killer that he was, which is a really cool.
I thought
Yeah.
that
Really cool thing.
No, so I was watching some interviews with Rob and you know how he was going to go about doing it, and you know, would he just start from Michael Myers from the beginning? Did he want to start from the childhood and you know build up to the Michael? And the way he did it was genius. I mean, I thought that was the way to go. I loved it.
Always remember
Yeah.
that first one with that little boy. Remember that cute little guy? They take his thing off his head, and the mom and dad just stand there like, "What have you done this time?" I always thought you just slashed everybody up.
I actually really like, you know, there are some people who hate remakes and they say, oh, you can't touch the original or
Right.
the remake was better. I personally really enjoy both of them. I don't understand why both can't be good, because what they did in the first one was so completely polar opposite of what they did in the
I've
Rob
talked to
Zombie
a few
version.
people that really do like the version that you were in
Yeah.
better. They love the original Halloween. There's always going to be that original. You're not going to get
Well,
away from
exactly.
that. But
Well, yeah.
they liked yours. There's more in-depth background on.
It explains, yeah.
Well,
it
that's
explains
just it.
how
They
he-
deal with you up to 13,
Right.
and then you lose
Right.
it or something.
Well, and that to me is the reason to make a remake is if you're telling a different side of the story.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you're doing it frame by frame and just telling the same story,
But here's
what's
the
the
when you're
purpose?
doing an
Right.
original, you're always going to have questions on why did they do this? Why did that character, you know, act this way? Where if you're doing a sequel or a remake, you can go back and explain that. Which I
Right.
mean, so the fact that you guys are able to do that, that's what's made the movie so great. And then
Exactly.
the technology and
1
I
minute.
mean,
Jesus. we have
what 60 seconds?
1 minute
Good.
left.
We
Is
got
there-
1 minute left. That's it.
Is there
Well,
is there
damn
any-
it.
is there anything you guys want to say really quick before
Yeah.
we end, or that
Websites
we
people
haven't
can go
missed, or-
to.
You go for it,
Yeah,
girl.
look for Compound Fractures coming out this spring, hopefully
Through level 33.
through level 33 in distribution, and also our Penance Lane Indiegogo is up right now, which is www.indiegogo.com/projects/penance-lane, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those at Maine Entertain, MANEENTERTAIN.
And give our Twitters and all of that.
That was the
That's
Twitter.
what she just said.
Well, no, I mean, we got our
Oh, you mean
personal
your personal
Twitters.
too?
Hey,
Yeah, hey,
don't
you
argue
know.
with Bob. Bob, first off, I get to do it with him every week, and he does that kind of stuff. He looks at you and he points like you're a shitty
I know.
kid.
He said she just
I
get
know.
that. I got
Oh,
a
he means
personal
your
one,
personal.
Bob.
You know
It's
what?
at Tyler_Maine, okay? You
Okay.
better be
Thank
following
you.
me when this is
I'm
done.
going to be.
Tyler Maine, Renee Geerlings, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
tonight.
much for
Thank you so
being
much
here.
for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.